Welcome to the SpeakHer Podcast with your host, Camille, Essick, the podcast where innovators and creators connect. Let's get started.
The Creative Connect is a 24-hour virtual assistant. Go to CamilleEssick.com and be sure to shop the collection with stock elements and so much more. Be sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe. Now back to the SpeakHer Podcast. Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Camille Essick. I'm host of the SpeakHer Podcast. This is the podcast where innovators and critics connect. What I need you to do right now is hit that notification. So he is actually just like Olive Garden. When he's here, he's family. And I'm so excited to have my brother and friend back. He's such an awesome person, just an awesome human all around. And I cannot wait for tonight's conversation. Sealz The Man. Sealz, welcome back.
Thank you for inviting me back. I'm always excited to be back on your platform. Thank you for having me. It's an honor and privilege. I always, try to be humble in that fashion. Because I can never take this for granted. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you for your friendship. Let's get it going.
Yes, I'm loving the setup. I see you. Things have changed in the background. I see it.
A little bit. I change it up a little bit.
Yes,
I still need to get that still shot you keep asking me for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we hop into everything, y'all, I have been getting onto Sealz about headshots. And then it's like a quiet argument.
I hate pictures.
And you're photogenic. And the thing is, you have like over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. I just need one, sir.
This year, I promise. We're going to do it.
No, like this month. Because you're regular. Like,
all right. I'm going to try my best.
Don't play in my face. Okay?
Let's do it. I'm going to try it. Got it. Oh, by the way, I got your shirt on.
Thank you. I love it. Thank you.
Repping. So if y'all ain't got a shirt, get y'all a shirt right now on her website right now.
Absolutely. Y'all. So the reason why I have you back is because we've been having this ongoing conversation about love, relationships, and mental health from the male perspective. And you always bring such a very healthy and very clear perspective, just because there's a lot of toxicity out here. And we love to have healthy and safe conversation. And we've had some conversation offline. And I thought, man, like this would be really good to bring this online to the viewers and listeners, just to kind of see what they think and just, foster and generate some conversation. So one of the things I want to get into is, first of all, your premise with your podcast and what you do on social media. You have started this platform. It started out for your nieces, right? And it's really pretty much like a video diary so they can know what a good man sounds like and how he thinks.
Yeah.
So in that, can you kind of unpack as we get into this conversation, Sealz, like how you treat her, the woman of your life, your girlfriend or your wife, how that points to your relationship with God? Or should women take a note of how she's being treated in his alignment with God? How does that play out?
So I do believe that if you are with a man who is a man of faith, that your love has to align with God first and foremost, because God is the ultimate symbol of love. And if you are with a man who is God-fearing, that love has to start there first. That is what I look for in my woman. Because I know how strong I am and convicted I am in my faith. So I have to be with someone who is equally yoked in that, right? I've been there when I've been with women who, are atheists or don't really, usually never works out because we're just not equally aligned, So, but when a man is with someone who is aligned with their beliefs, we know because the Bible tells us that God is the ultimate symbol of love. That has to start there, right? And then my love for my woman will be rooted in that. So the face of love for me is the love that I have for my God, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And anything that doesn't represent my faith is not the type of love that I need, you know. So yeah, it starts off with that.
It's not also like a check and balance, because if you're not treating her properly, if you're aligned with God and submitted to God the way you shouldn't there be some type of conviction, or not a tit for tat, but just to say, yes, you're in a relationship, but that's still my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
because
a level of accountability, right?
Right. Because you don't want nobody messing with your daughter, you know. I always say, like, I hate to hear like dudes call other women B words and all types of derogatory mess, because when someone says those same things to their daughter, now it's a problem. Like, oh, you calling my daughter a what? But you out here doing the same thing to somebody else's daughter. It's very hypocritical. So like you said, if you know this is God's children, God's son, God's daughter, you're going to treat them as such. You're going to respect your woman because you respect God. And even if you don't have any type of faith, like I just want to speak generally, even if you're not part of any type of faith or believe in anything, like respect should be the basics, the foundation to how you treat people in life in general, right? You can't expect love and not have respect, right? Those two are intertwined with each other. I can never believe a relationship that a man is abusing a woman but claims he loves her. That's just it. That makes no sense. And people will try to
on that.
Yeah, people will try to give excuses on that, like, oh, I beat her because I love her. Like, what? You know what I mean? So people got things confused, but love is God and love is also respect. So that is the basis of how a man should treat his woman.
So I guess kind of digging into the faith side of relationship, from your perspective, what should men do or be looking at within themselves regarding their personal relationship before they even think about bringing someone into an equation? Like, if you're not where you should be at that point, and if you know you're spiritually struggling, that's not really the best time to even think about a person? Like, why would you bring someone into that situation when you're not maybe on solid ground yourself?
Yeah, that's a good point. That happens a lot. I feel like people do that, specifically men do that for selfish reasons. Especially men who've been in relationships all their lives or been in a lot of relationships. When they're not in a relationship, it feels like they have a void in their life, right? They feel like there's a void to fill, right? So they'll just jump on anything. They'll jump on anything hot, anything that wants them back. That woman doesn't even have to love them. As long as they like them enough, they'll take it because they're used to a certain type of lifestyle. I believe that a man should build on himself before he builds on something else. Because it's hard to be able to be a provider if you can't even provide for yourself. You got to be in the right mental space, a mental capacity, a spiritual stance where you're able to defend yourself before you're able to defend another woman, right? There's a spiritual warfare out there. There's a physical warfare out there. If you're not able to protect your love, then what are you doing? Why did you introduce someone else into your life if you're not able to be a complete or be able to complete your manly obligations and responsibilities? You know, if you don't have that capability, then you shouldn't have that, you know, attached to yourself, you know? So I believe in that. Men should be able to learn to love themselves. You know what I mean? Learn to take care of themselves, provide for themselves before they're able to provide for anybody else or love somebody else.
Yeah. And then like you touched on a word, you were like love, but then I started thinking like you can love someone, but then not like them, and how important friendship is in the relationship. Like, because I know whenever my person shows up outside of love, like I want to like them as a person. Like, you like what they represent, you know, you like how they show up, and be friends. Because I see so many people out here, they're like, oh, I love them. For example, I'm not going to say their name. A couple of people I know from college, they're both guys, both married with families. And they have admitted out loud, like they're like, oh, I love, my kids or whatever, but they don't like their wives as people. And I detracted, from that conversation because number one, I'm not married, but I've heard many people say that when they're like, oh, I love my spouse, but I don't like them. And I'm like, that's scary because to me, I feel like that opens the door for other things to creep into the relationship.
Yeah.
And liking me as a person and vice versa, I think is paramount.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like your love has to be solid. And on the days it's not solid, that you're able to and willing to work on it. Because love is not, relationships are not perfect. Sometimes you're going to have bad days. Sometimes you're going to have terrible days, right? But the only thing that's keeping you with your partner is love. And I do hear of situations like that, relationships like that, where they don't like each other. I've seen it myself. Yeah, I've seen it myself in my own time, my own life, in my own family, where they're only together for the kids, but or together to keep the family together, but they love each other, but they don't like to be around each other. They don't like to talk to each other. They don't sleep in the same bed with each other. You know what I mean? So it is scary, but it's also a thing where you have to answer, why are y'all together? What is the reason y'all together? What is the definition of your love? And they both need to answer that question together and figure that out, because sometimes I feel like people have different definitions of what love is. And that's why I feel like communication is so important. Sometimes love to someone is what you could do for them. You know what I mean? While somebody else may say love is how someone makes me feel. So it's like, do y'all definitions of love intertwine with each other, and can it align with each other, and can it work together? Yeah. And is your definition of love skewed? You know what I mean? So that's another big reason why, things like that happen, where they'll be like, oh, I love you, but I don't like you. It's crazy.
So then that crosses the line into being compatible versus just chemistry, because you said before, you kind of touched on what people do for each other, and that could be a plethora of things, but then not like the person. And I guess within our culture and through social media, people are stuck on, well, they give me butterflies. Butterflies will go away, and you have to do life with this person. Yeah. And I guess, and maybe, you can unpack this too, but when I think about being compatible, I think about how you handle adversity. How do you handle moments when you're feeling discouraged? Do you have words of wisdom? Do you have anger management issues? When you get upset, are you punching walls? Or do you go off and leave for 2 days and nobody can hear? Like, how are you handling life? Versus chemistry is just the butterflies, you feel good, you hear vibes and energy. That can change on a dime depending on what's happening in life. But when you're looking at what's being compatible, like, can we actually navigate life, like the moments of life together?
So I think those, what you call them, synonyms? I'm thinking back in grade school days when they had us memorizing all types of terms like synonyms, where like two words are alike, but they're different. Yeah. That is a good question. Like, what's the difference between compatibility and chemistry? I do feel like, based on my life experiences, that compatibility is usually the first thing you notice in a person, because you can view compatibility as a visual. Like, you can view compatibility as a external factor, while chemistry is more internal. Chemistry has to be earned, because you have to get to know somebody in order to know if you have chemistry with someone. But you can know,
because I've been around people that we had chemistry, but then we weren't compatible, like doing life, But
no, that's the thing. Well, that proves my point, though, right? Because you had to find out through your whatever relationship you had with them, that your chemistry wasn't aligned with their compatibility, right? Like, I can look at someone, right, and say, oh man, they got a similar style to me. Their style is compatible to mine, right? But that's compatibility. I don't know who they are. Chemistry is I know that person. We vibe well. Like I can actually have a conversation with that person and feel fulfilled, right? That's not necessarily compatibility, but it's like almost like a energy between a two. That's how I feel.
And I guess that ties on even how we define each word, which also changes how we view it. Because the way I'm viewing being compatible is not external. I'm thinking more as far as navigating. Because for example, my ex, we had chemistry, but in other areas we were not compatible because of morals, the moral compass, and values, character, integrity, very different.
Yeah.
So, and I guess for us, you and I guess in the conversation it's flipped, because when I hear some people say they're compatible, I guess within this scope of this generation, they're thinking about how we look together in public and social media, and we have, same level of education, those things on paper.
But that's external. That's external. Those are external things.
Yeah, that's but you said that. You said it's external. But for me, I'm looking at it on a deeper level beyond just the paper. Because I have looked at that and said, oh, we're compatible. But when I got to the core of that person, we weren't compatible.
Right. But there's also, it was freezing a little bit. It's also different levels of compatibility too. That's what I was trying to break down too. Like there's visual compatibility. There's relationship compatibility. They even got like horoscope compatibility. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? based on what time and what month you were born on.
Like, oh, you're a Taurus. I can't talk to you.
Yeah, you're a Taurus. Like, I'm a Leo. Like what? But they got things that base compatibility on external factors. Like you don't even know this person, but based on your birthday, you're not compatible, or you're compatible with me. But what those things can't tell you is if we have chemistry, right? And that's what I mean by like you got to earn that. You got to find out a person. You got to dig into a person to see if you actually have chemistry. Now, what you said is also true. Like I feel like both things can be true. Right. And I feel like sometimes compatibility and chemistry doesn't need to be linked together, because I feel like sometimes our preferences can get in the way. Like
that's a good point. That's a very good. I'm gonna let you cook.
Yeah, it's like yo, and I've been there too. Like I'm
like having a type,
having somebody that has to have certain attributes or like characteristics or certain possessions. Like sometimes we base our preferences on what we think we need in compatibility, right? Sometimes we alter and morph our compatibility based on what we desire. And that's not true compatibility at all. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm going to ask you as a woman, because, there's a lot of dialogue in the social media space where it's like, I need a man to have this. I need a man to pay all my bills. I need a high value. I need high value. He got to have $100,000 plus salary. He got to be 6'4". Like, what my question is to you is like, what is more important to you, compatibility or actually having a real chemistry with someone? Because, and the reason why I asked that, because you can be in a relationship with someone and be compatible, but it's whack. It's mad boring. It's not what you like desire. Or you can be in a relationship where you have amazing chemistry with someone, right? Amazing chemistry, but they're toxic to you. Like they're living a lifestyle where it's not conducive for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. But y'all chemistry is amazing because every time y'all meet, y'all pop off. You know what I mean? Like, so like, what's more important to you as a woman?
Okay, so I'm going to break this down and hopefully I don't ramble and answer your question. The first part of that, I guess the first premise of your question, as far as high value, I don't really believe in that term. I believe you could be a high earner. Like you can have the ability to produce income and make money. But
I hate that term.
I do too. But what about, I'm looking at high character, high integrity,
Yeah.
manhood. And I don't mean as far as gender, but in going back to character and integrity. How do you show up in the world? You know, not this cheesy machismo, misogynistic, I'm not alpha male, crazy, not saying that, but just how do you show up as a man every day? If we were to take away all of your accolades, all of your awards, your accomplishments, all the people you know, and strip you down to just like an onion, just to the core of who you are as a person, who are you?
Yeah.
And are you the type of man that if we got married and have a child, are you the type of man I would want my son to be like when he grows up? That's what I look at. Are you the type of man I would want our son to be? Strip all the stuff away. And that's the first part. As far as compatibility and chemistry, a little bit of both. Because of my faith, I don't want to marry someone that's agnostic or an atheist, because if we're going to raise a child together, we have to be on the same page. That way that child is not getting, he or she's not getting two different doctrines. Even also in terms of like, how will we handle discipline in the home? There's got to be some alignment there. If you come from an abusive home and you want to bring that same technique into the house, that's not going to work. Discipline, yes, but to the point where it's like abuse, no. Sometimes things just weren't a conversation. Like, why are we yelling at each other? We can disagree, but yelling, we can disagree, but not be disrespectful. We can disagree, but we're not weaponizing secrets and going into the vault. And well, that's why, like, we're not doing that. We can disagree, but we're not going below the belt. And you're trying to break a person's psyche just for the sake of winning an argument, right? So when we're looking at, for me, being compatible and having chemistry, I say both, but I'm looking at the foundation of who you are just as a human being, or who are you just to be a man of God. And when I say man of God, I'm not like saying preacher, bishop, whatever, but just someone that's submitting to God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then also there needs to be some chemistry. Like if we're married, I want you to want me and touch me and vice versa, and we're not sleeping in separate rooms. Or and chemistry is not even just sexual, but just if I walk in the room, you already know like something's up, like she's not herself today, or you can feel my heart and go, talk to me. What's going on? You seem a little down today. What's up? And we, and that I think that comes with being having synchronicity too, right? Being able to discern each other. And I think that's where the chemistry piece comes in. And maybe we can swap that word out too. Just having the discernment to know your person and know like, or if you're, let's say you're having a bad day or something. And I'm like, what's up with you? And you're like, but I know you're not blowing me off. It's just that you're still trying to unpack how you feel and process it. But I know later on you'll come and talk to me about it. And I don't take that personally. Like, I don't know why you won't talk to me. It's like, because I know you, because we have friendship and we don't just love each other. We like each other. You know me and I know you well enough to know I'm going to give her a moment. I'm going to give him a moment to process those feelings. And then later on, when we're in the bed or on the couch talking, then that moment may transpire because now you've kind of, you've reached a space or had an epiphany to now you can kind of talk it out and express how you're feeling. So I guess maybe I went the long way about it, but that's how I process chemistry and compatibility as far as how we're moving in life. Who are you as a man showing up in this world outside of your resume and whatever, and just who you are as a human being. And then also the chemistry side of it is just how you and I interact, not outside of sexuality, but just on an intimate, personal, one-on-one, day-to-day level.
Exactly. Yep. I like that answer.
Yeah. So hopefully, we're striking some good conversation. If you're liking this conversation, be sure to drop it in the comments below, like, share, tag a friend. I'm here with Sealz The Man, and we're having a conversation about being compatible versus chemistry and just unpacking some nuances with regarding relationships from the male point of view. So Sealz, going into the next segment of our conversation, how do you, in a relationship, just even in life, navigating and expressing like your emotional needs as a man? Because we hear so many women saying, well, I need this from a man, and I need safety, and I need security, and I need protection, and I need whatever. But how do you, or how should men do the same thing? Because it seems like when men say, hey, this is what I need, sometimes it comes with backlash, or it's like, well, you're a man, so you shouldn't feel that way. But outside of your gender, you're a human being. You have feelings too. So how do you navigate like your emotional needs in relationships?
I feel like this kind of goes back to chemistry and compatibility. You got to be with someone who you're compatible and have that chemistry with, a healthy mix of the two. You got to be with someone who has that you have that type of relationship to be honest with and have like healthy dialogue with and conversation with. I feel like men feel like that, like rejected and alone, even when even in a relationship, if they don't have that chemistry or that compatibility with that woman. There's a lot of empty relationships out there, even marriages out there, where it's like we're only together for a certain reason, but that man is suffering on the inside because he knows he can't have a real conversation with his woman because she's a certain way or has a certain personality or is, very like that, like how you were speaking on, like, oh, you're a man, you should, this is what you should do. That type of energy. He loves her, but he knows he can't have real conversations with her because of the way she is, right? I feel like as a man, the best and like lightest feeling, like a heaven on earth feeling, is when you're with a woman who you can be yourself. You're 100% thorough
like take
self.
the mask down.
Yeah, like you don't even have to have a mask on. Like like she rocks with you no matter what. Not saying that I as a man I'm gonna be perfect, but I'm gonna be perfectly me. Like I don't have to be anything else but me. All right, Sealz, right? I was in a relationship where I felt like I had to be half of myself because I didn't want to make her get mad or make her get agitated.
Wow.
And I couldn't have like certain conversations with her because I knew it would start an argument, or it would feel like it would be an argument. But the best feeling is to be with someone who you could be 100% with. And that is how a man is able to vent. That is how he's able to have a safe space in a woman because she allows it, right? She gives permission to be himself. Mm-hmm. You got to be with someone like that. Because if you're not, it's the opposite effect where you feel like you're in a relationship and that relationship is like a prison.
So you dropped a few gems and I want to kind of dig those out. One of the things you touched on, you talked about men feeling lonely, like the loneliness. And I've never heard a man say that out loud before. And so I wonder, when a man is in a relationship and he feels emotionally lonely or spiritually lonely or psychologically lonely in that space, like the door that's cracked open and what vices can come in, or what is he doing to compensate for that emotional isolation? If it's working more hours or spending more time at the gym or going to video game, playing Call of Duty, or like or even another person, because like the work wife, like you hear all these things. And so I've never heard that said out loud before. So it makes me think, like, if he, like, I don't want to cheat on her, so what is he doing to compensate for the loneliness?
There's no one fit all answer. Like it could be literally anything, it could be like the things you said, video games or finding some kind of distraction or drinking. Even that man could go, he could drown in his vices, You know what I mean? He'll find anything to distract him for the fact that he feels alone. And the worst type of alone is when you're alone with someone else. Like
that's dangerous, kind of like, right, in a relationship.
It's an oxymoron, but it's a dangerous one because it's like, man, what am I doing? The point of me being in a relationship is to not feel alone. But there are people out there who feel more alone in their relationship than a person who's actually single. Because you could be single and be ultimate, like you could be free. You could be single and feel like you have no burdens, no chains on you. But you could also be in a relationship where you feel like you're alone, where you feel like you're in a prison, you know? So the answer to that, it could be anything, which makes it super dangerous, you know, depending on what the person is fighting or what they're struggling with, or it could be vices, it could be drugs, it could be anything based on who that person is and what their desires are. Mm. It's dangerous.
And then you were touching on your personal experience. So then I guess in that, when you're on those emotional eggshells, goes back to the friendship. Like, we should be able to talk about, even if it's an ugly conversation or a hard conversation, but curating an environment, though, even though the conversation may be hard or difficult, whatever, that we can have the conversation and I still feel the way I feel about you. It's just exploring that other emotional side of each other. And sometimes it's okay to not, because you're not going to agree on everything, and that's fine. And I think with social media, it's like everything has to be matched, like matchy match, perfect. And it's like it's not like that.
I start getting nervous if I don't get an argument or some kind of like disagreement with my woman, because like it's like this seems too good to be true. Like,
you have to not agree. Like, I'm not saying there must be conflict, but you're two individuals coming together. Yeah. And so you're gonna have different of opinions. And if you don't agree on certain things, that's gonna mean throw away the relationship. Like, I like the Warriors, you like the Lakers. Just, and I'm using that in a comical sense, but you know what I'm saying? There are going to be things that you don't agree on.
Yeah.
But there has to be enough common ground that you're willing to go forward in the relationship.
Yeah, because and also, like, you don't want to be in a relationship where you're with a yes man or a yes woman, because you're never going to have real conversation. Like the real conversations happen when there is discomfort, where you're talking about something that could be really uncomfortable. You know what I mean? But those type of conversations are leading to some type of solution. Mm-hmm. Like, you're having those conversations to solve something or to figure each other out more, you know, get deeper into who you are. You know, when you having these fake conversations where you're just saying, yeah, or, you know, you just agreeing to everything, you'll never get to know me and I'll never get to know you. And it's like, once again, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah.
So,
and this might be just a silly example, but I think about my grandparents. Before my grandmother died, they were married for 53 years, right?
Wow.
And so she would make toast, you know, and coffee, or, you know, whatever. She would cook breakfast, but sometimes she would make toast and coffee because that's what he wanted in the morning. And so she would always tell me, we'll leave the ends for him because he likes the ends. And me, I like the middle. But it was the fact that she understood that nuance, that he liked the ends of the bread. And in my mind, I'm like, who eats the ends of the bread? You know, but that small thing that may have been a disagreement early on, she figured out, well, instead of fussing about the bread and which part, let him have the end.
Yeah.
And I say that in a bigger picture, like, if you're having a disagreement, it's something minute, let them have it. Like, do you want to be right or do you want to be married?
Right.
And so I wonder, like, navigating those spaces. And we think about, you know, you touched on growing, and you kind of hit on it, but just, we think about social media and highlight reels, and the people out here in this society feel like they need to be entertained all the time. Yeah. And this high of love, we call the honeymoon phase, that's going to wear off. But what about actually, you touched on it, growing into the relationship and finding your rhythm, and then also, Sealz, it's not about being complacent, but at a point in a relationship where you find your rhythm with each other and you're in a good space. Now, of course, life is going to hit, but overall, you're growing together. You have a rhythm, chemistry, and moving in those places. So what do you think about when you come out of that honeymoon phase and you're really getting into the roots of the relationship and that mask begins to drop? And you're going to see some things. You might be like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. But you have to remember, if you're mature, you knew this was going to happen. Like, you know, the mask is going to come down. Hopefully they're not wearing a mask and they're showing up as their authentic self anyway. But you're going to start to see those little things, those little quirks about the person. So how do you navigate those spaces where you're beyond the honeymoon phase and now you're getting into the roots of the relationship?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Hopefully, you're in a situation where you're not with someone who's like, dependent on a mask.
Surprise, surprise.
Now you're like, whoa, who are you? You know what I mean?
Right, the representative.
But like you brought up earlier in the video, it is important to be a friend before anything else, because you know your friends. Like I always say, your friends know your darkest secrets more than anybody. Like your friends are your worst enemy because they could end you, because they know all your skeletons, right? So
like spades, they got the joke.
They're like, girl, you better chill out. You know, I know what you did last summer. Like, you better chill out.
Literally.
I know you were scamming and still, like, you know what I mean? So, like, your friends know you. So, but staying on track of friends, you know your friends, right? So when you are a friend with your lover, it's like you don't have to worry about that mask situation, because you know your lover, because y'all was friends first. But if you are in a situation where, as you said, go through the honeymoon phase and they start to reveal themselves more, once again, I just feel like that love is what's going to keep y'all together when you start to see things that you don't necessarily agree with, or you've never experienced before, and now it feels weird to you, or you feel uncomfortable because it's different to you. That love is going to be that foundation for y'all to make things work, right? If it's a healthy love, that love is going to remind you, like, hey, I'm going to stick through this because I know her heart. She knows mine. We decided to be together, so we're going to make this work, right? As long as there's no negative connotations, abuse, or anything like that. We're talking about like real healthy love here.
Right.
When she starts or he starts to put down that mask, you're going to see some things or hear some things, or you're going to be like, whoa, I need you to clean up your clothes after you put them out. Like, I need you to stop leaving dishes out after you've, like, that's where communication comes in, right?
Yeah.
Because
and you have a day, but if it's like you're just nasty, then that's a different conversation.
Yeah, and that's hard to hide too. Like, nasty, that's kind of hard to like not see the flags in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, so those outstanding type of problems, like, that's why you need to have your radar on and not be so like infatuated and butterflies and all that, because sometimes infatuation and butterflies will blind you from the real, like the reality, right? Yeah. And now you're years in deep with this person in a relationship or a marriage, and now you're starting to realize, like, oh damn,
and also navigating, just debunking those unrealistic expectations to expect she's gonna come out looking Instagram ready every day, or he's always, like, okay, I go to work, but if I'm here, I may have on Hillman sweatshirt and some joggers, or like, you're a real person. You're not photo shoot ready 24/7.
Yeah, that's not a real thing. That's not a problem to a real man. Like, I always say, men are pretty simple creatures. We really are. Like, I actually made a video on that. It's like, as long as you're a real person, I mean, I could care what you wear. I could care less. Like, as long as you remain you, the one I fell in love with, I could care less.
Yeah, there's just so much. And the reason why we keep having these conversations is just there's so much toxic conversation out here. I hear it because we're both in the digital podcasting space, so we kind of keep our ear to the ground to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's just insane how even with this whole pop the balloon, like, it's so superficial. And I'm like, what? Cringy. But I'm like, what about the root and the core of the person?
Yeah.
Like, what about those things that matters? What about holding conversations beyond DM slides or just texting paragraphs, but scheduling FaceTimes, calling, talking on the phone, meeting up for coffee, or saying, hey, let's go have brunch. Like, what happened to the one-on-one, just getting to know someone? Or do you feel like social media and technology has destroyed that altogether?
That's what I was about to say. The age of TV and media has monetized love. 90, what do you call it? 90 Day Fiance, Love Island, like
later daters.
Yeah. It's so many I can't even catch up, right?
Yeah.
So TV, media, social media has monetized love, and that has taken away from real, just basic love. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I watch movies and from the 80s and the 70s and stuff, and I'm just like, and they tell the stories of how, a love happened, and it just seems so real and simple. There was no technology. You actually had to meet someone in person to
that effort.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and figure them out and fall in love with them. Now it's monetized where everything's for show. The Pop the Balloon show, they're getting paid for that. Now they made a Netflix show and it looks terrible. But
I haven't seen it like on Netflix, but I was so appalled by it on social media. I was like,
monetized. Now the basic core of that show is not on that show. You have, I don't gotta say it, but it doesn't look like the original show. 90 Day Fiance, Bachelor, whatever that show is called, Bachelor.
What's the other one? Love is Blind, I think.
Yeah, Love is Blind. There's so many. Yeah. There's so many, but it's all monetized now. Somebody's getting paid off of someone's love, right? And it just takes away. And it's sad because it's like, our future generations are not going to know what real love is, unless.
Do you think? Because it seems like I've noticed a lot of 30 and under getting married. And it seems like they're going back to traditional families.
Just because you get married doesn't mean you're in love. Like, that's another thing. Some people getting married for the photos, for the likes, for what it looks like, for them to be able to tell other girls. I know so. I've been told this by women. Like, I would have conversations with my coworkers, and I'll say, like, "Why did you get married?" And they would take like 2 minutes long to answer. And then when they finally do answer, it's so superficial that I'm like, that's why you got married? You know what I mean? So I had a woman tell me that she got married because her parents said her parents got tired of her being single.
What? Wait a minute.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Because, a lot of families out there are traditional. So parents have a higher class, or they're looked at better when their kids are married. So when traditional parents don't have a kid that's married, it looks bad on them. You know what I mean? So
I've seen that at work with certain professions like doctors, lawyers, dentists, certain socioeconomic reasons, like it looks good. I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
Especially like Indians or like international type families and households, they don't play that. They are trying to rush you to get married because it looks bad on them. You know, so there's lot of
many reasons. Yeah, I guess it also depends on your culture, different demographics that can matter, and then goes back to class. But then I'm also seeing through all of that, I am seeing a group like that 25 to 30 that they really want to be married and have families and do the traditional thing. And I'm seeing that, and they're, 2 and 3 kids in and family vacations, doing all the things. And so I'm kind of seeing a split, because I had a conversation with a good friend of mine, and she's older than me. And she was saying that how a lot of men in her age group, they're not looking at marriage either because their wife passed away or they're divorced. And so they're kind of getting their second wind, and they're outside. And so yeah, so I'm observing 2 or 3 different sets of conversations, and then you have those of us within our age group where it's it's kind of divvied up as half and half. So I'm just wondering, like, how do the good men and good women meet up? Because again, listening to conversations online, I hear men say that they want to be married, they want a good woman, but they can't find them. And then the women that are good, because they've been hurt, have gone through whatever, they're just like, we're in the house. And so the men are like, we need the women to come outside so we can meet you. You can't stay in the house. You got to come outside. So it's like, how do you get these two groups of people together to meet? And that's the ongoing, I guess, issue.
Yeah, that's tough. It's one science that I cannot solve for anyone, because I feel like everyone is like, they meet up on their own like weird way. Like there's no, like I hate to hear people say like, you need to find your person in church or go to the library or go to, it's not the case for everybody. You know, sometimes God has a calling for someone that no one can see. You can find your person randomly, saving a cat in a tree or something, or helping someone out, being a good Samaritan. Like there's no one fit all answer, you know, so that's a tough one.
Yeah, there was an older lady at my job. She just retired last week, and on her last day, for whatever reason, she was talking to me about her husband, and I don't know how we got on the conversation, but she said she met her husband at a convenience store.
Yeah.
I was like, what? She was like, yeah, we met at a convenience store just in passing, and they've been married 30, 40 something years later, but they just met at a convenience store, I guess, getting gas or whatever. And I was like, wow. So I've heard some interesting places where people have met, and it's not at those usual places like church, or not to say those things don't happen, but it was not in a place where you would think you would meet somebody. And I was like, oh wow. Imagine running into your person at Wawa or the hospital or whatever. Yeah. So
like some place you would never guess, you know what I mean? Like sometimes love just blooms from a mystery, you know. There's no one answer. And I always tell people, don't let people tell you what to do or how to find love. Like it's not true. Like whatever God has planned for you is going to happen either way. You know, when you try to force your way, you end up in bad relationships. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to stay patient, and not just in relationships, but in whatever my life's calling is, whether it's my career or what I'm supposed to do in my life on earth. Like, I try to remain patient and keep working. So when the time does come, I am ready.
Yeah. And then one last question as we start to wrap up. How do you navigate maintaining circles of accountability within your men group, your men circles, your brotherhood? Because or even your advice to men that want to maintain the right path and do the right thing, and maybe they have a couple of friends that are knuckleheads, like the importance of having like-minded brothers around you.
Accountability is so important. Oh my goodness. I had to hold one of my brothers accountable like the other day recently, because he was about to do something that he would have been no good. Let's just say that. You have to be around some real ones. Like I always say, if you're not around a friend that can tell you when your breath stink, if you are not around a friend that can tell you like, bro, you need to like level up, like you need to stop doing what you're doing, those are not real friends. A real friend is not a person who's going to say yes to you all day, every day. A real friend is not a person who's going to just be around on the good days when you get paid or when y'all trying to turn up. Those are not friends. Those are associates. Mm-hmm. A real friend is a brother or a sister. And my theory on my mindset on what a friend is that if I'm able to call you my brother or my sister, you are my friend. If I'm not able to call you my brother or my sister, you're my associate. Because my friends turn into family. That's just how I look at friends. So, and I know my family is going to hold me accountable. Associates ain't going to tell me nothing. What can an associate tell me? You know what I mean? So it's like I know you're holding me accountable because you love me. And you want the best for me. and I could
And
depend
not to
on
throw the friendship away if you call me out.
Yeah, that's on you. If you decide to lose a blessing in a friend, that is on you.
Yeah.
And especially if that thing that they're holding you accountable for is true. You know what I mean? If you out here wilding and you married, or you out here doing drugs when you know you are smart enough to be great in this life,
Mm-hmm.
and you decide to lose that person because they made you feel bad, or they expose those things to you, that is on you. That is your loss, and you got to be careful when you lose friends because you might not get another real one.
Right.
You know, so I feel like not just every man, but every woman should surround herself or himself with people who are going to say no, who are going to hold them accountable, who are going to keep it real with them, because otherwise they are not friends.
Yeah. And there's some people I've known for years, and where I was in that chapter of life, we weren't compatible as friends now like we were then.
Mm-hmm.
And not that you fall out with people, it's just you grow apart. And sometimes if you have those friends that are still wanting to operate or live their life in this path, you're like, no, I can't live my life like that anymore. And you're over here, then you've got to put some distance, especially if they are committed to their path and not wanting to change or mature or grow.
Yeah.
And not that they're just terrible people, but if it's not aligned with your purpose or your call in your life or your assignment, it's like you may not be bad, but you're not good for my purpose.
Yeah.
So I got to leave you here and go forward.
And that's the scary side of growth, right? Like, it doesn't mean you're a bad person if we no longer friends or we no longer close how we used to be, but that's part of growth. When you grow, you have to get rid of things to expand. Like, I can't wear the same clothes that I had 25 years ago. Those clothes aren't bad clothes. They're not bad quality clothes, but I can no longer fit them. And, you know, I don't know if you know, but I'm a plant dad. I got like 20 plants in my crib.
What? You're a plant dad?
Yeah, I've had plants for years. Yeah.
What? That's actually a good character trait, but
yeah, it is, because you care about
you're nurturing.
Exactly. You care about something outside of yourself, right? But I know I cannot fall in love with the plant I bought because it's not going to be the same plant in 10 years or 5 years or 1 year. It's going to grow. It's going to be different. It's going to change, you know? And that's the part of growth. It's a scary part of growth. You're not going to be the person that you are today in the future. And that's what's supposed to happen. Because if you are the same person that you were in a year or 5 years or 10 years, then that's a problem. You know? If my plant is the same small plant that I bought, I'm taking it back to the store because something is wrong.
Yeah, that means your air is very clean too.
Yeah, I expect it to grow. You know what I mean? So that's what happens with friends too, man. Like, and it's sad. Like I've realized that with my hometown friends. Like, me and my hometown friends were mad close. We grew up together from Pampers to, you know, high school graduation. But I realized when I went to college and I graduated college, we were no longer that close. And now I had a new set of friends that I made in college and I felt I resonated with them more because they were relative to the point that I was in my life, you know, at that moment. And it doesn't mean that my hometown friends are bad friends. Like, we're still cool. We're just not as cool as we used to be, not as cool as my current friends that I made in college, you know, and that's part of growth. That's part of growth, man. Nothing stays the same.
Absolutely. Well, this has been a really good conversation, and it just seems like we always have awesome talks, and it keeps going deeper and deeper. And I love that, just because I just think it's so important to have healthy and safe conversation, especially when it comes to relationships and personal growth from the male perspective. And that's why you're one of the people, one of the men that I know in my life to have these talks with, because we need more of it. We need more men like you in front of the people, so they know all men don't think like that, all men don't talk like that, and there are some good Black men out there. So thank you.
And also, I'm not perfect. That's another thing. I'm you know me,
none of us are.
I'm a humble guy. Like, I try my best to take compliments, but I'm getting better with that, right? I feel like, and this is my message to men too, right? My YouTube channel is talk about the basis of my YouTube channel is to talk about good men and decent men.
Yeah.
When I say those things, I'm championing the effort that men put into becoming better men, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying just because you're a good man or a decent man that you're perfect, right? My goal when I speak, I'm speaking for myself too. My goal is to become better every single day based on the decisions I make in life, right? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to try to be perfect every single day. The thing I always implement in my life is to try to be at least 1% better every single day. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Small things, right? So even for women, you don't have to be the perfect woman, right? Just try to be the better version of yourself every chance you can get.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes you good. That's what makes you a decent person.
Yeah.
Not that you're perfect, that you know everything or that. Just try to be a better version of yourself. That's it.
Yeah.
Growth.
Absolutely. And I always say one of the hardest conversations to have is trying to have a conversation with someone that already knows everything about everything.
Right. Now
Like,
you just sitting there.
be teachable. Like, be open-minded. Like, we can learn from each other. And you're not the SME. You're not the subject matter expert on everything.
Nope.
Like, and when I meet individuals like that, I make a note because actually that's a sign of insecurity.
Yep.
Because if you're the top expert on whatever we're talking about, why am I here?
Exactly.
Why am I here?
Exactly. It's real.
Absolutely. So before we wrap everything up, Sealz, do you have any last minute takeaways or nuggets for the listeners and viewers? And then what do you have coming up next? Do you have any books, anything coming out? And then where can people reach you on social media?
Oh, appreciate you. First and foremost, thank you for having me on your platform once again. Like, I'm always here for you.
Come on, Black. I see you.
You see that little thing right?
No, we don't use the word little. That word is illegal over here.
I mean, it's something.
Wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Sealz has the platinum YouTube plaque.
Thank you.
Come on, we gotta clap that up.
A little brief.
Come on.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We give flowers over here.
Thank you.
Proud of you, Black man.
But thank you. Thank you for always inviting me. I'm here for you. I'm your friend. A real friend. I mean, so I'm always here for you.
I am a real friend. I look out.
You're a real friend too. You are, and you've proved as such. You know what I mean? Thank you for the TikTok situation.
We're not even going to talk about that later.
Anyway, but I'm proud of you. You're consistent. You're the most consistent person I know. I've told you that before. You do not play around with this industry. Like you inspire me to keep going. And on the days I don't feel like making content or just being out there, and I'm proud of you. A takeaway from I would say that just on my heart right now is to tell people to try to find another avenue. Try to find other avenues of your normal reality, right? I find that I get bored easily, and getting bored easily can make you depressed. It can make you feel lazy at times, lethargic. It can make you uninspired. Try to find another avenue of creativity, another avenue of income, even another avenue of how to be active in your life, because life can get stagnant real quick. It could get real static. And now you find yourself in a space where you just feel confused and you don't know what to do. Try to stay busy. Like try to stay active in your calling. And if you don't know what your calling is, just try to stay active so that it may hopefully lead you to your calling and that fulfillment and that purpose in something. I find that people get depressed when they feel like they don't have anything to do, or they get depressed where they feel like they don't have any friends, like real friends, or try to find different avenues. Get outside of your comfort box, right? Get outside of that normal reality that you have and get risky. Like, this world that God has provided us is too big to be sitting in the same place physically and mentally, right? So try to be open-minded, like you said earlier. Try to be open-minded, have new perspectives. Don't be so closed in. try to find a new avenue in your life, and that will help you.
Go to the library. Like,
go to the park.
Go to the park. Yeah.
Go to the city. If you're near a major city, just walk around and talk to people. Yeah. You'll be surprised how many people don't actually talk to other people outside of their family. You know, you ever watch those videos on YouTube where people just go around interviewing people and they don't know how to react at first? They're like, whoa, get it back up. Like, they get defensive because they ain't used to that. They don't talk to nobody, you know, but then when they start to open them up, now they just start talking. You know what I mean? So, yeah, try to find something new in your life. Yeah. Don't be scared.
It's like people, they're more transparent with strangers than people that they know. They'll tell a total stranger all their business, but then people you've known your whole life and they don't know a tenth of who you are as a person.
Exactly. Because there's no bias. There's no like attachment. Sometimes there's financial attachment. You know, now you act in a different way because you owe somebody in your family something. Like with strangers, you're with a blank canvas. So
no dog in the fight.
Yeah, no dog in the fight. I'm gonna tell you everything because I might not ever see you again. You know, so yeah.
For sure. Great. And then do you have like any new episodes dropping, books, product merch, other ventures? Like what's going on in your world?
So I am working on something. I am working on a new channel. It's gonna be more about personal development and self-care, self-healing, spiritual enhancement. Like I want to get outside of the just relationship with people portion of life and start talking about the relationship that we have with ourselves. So I'm gonna start. I'm creating another channel on that soon. Working on it, and I'll let you know. You know when I get popping.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Congrats in advance.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, we have wrapped up the month of May. I cannot believe May is gone. We're about to slide into June, my birthday month.
Hey.
And this
21. 21 coming up.
We'll talk about that after the show. Yes, we'll talk about that after this. And then we're going to, I'm brown and I'm blushing. Y'all, and we're going into Memorial Day weekend. So y'all be safe. Be sure to connect with me online. Be sure to hit the like button. If you have not done so, subscribe. Also, I want to thank all of my subscribers. I'm officially 321 downloads away from hitting my first 10,000 download across the platform. And I checked on my dashboard a couple days ago. The SpeakHer Podcast is literally, we're streaming everywhere. We are now in 991 cities and 51 countries, streaming globally. So I'm very excited about that. First of all, shout out to Germany. I don't know who is in Germany listening to the SpeakHer Podcast, but I was looking at the numbers.
They're running it up.
Right. And behind the US, my next section of listeners, viewers, subscribers are in Germany. So I want to shout out Germany.
Wow.
Thank you. I don't know any German, so I'm just going to say it in English. Thank you, Germany. Whoever's over there. We appreciate you. Yeah. So with that being said, be sure to connect with me online. I'm on various platforms such as iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Pandora. Be sure to hit SpeakHer Podcast, the podcast for innovators and creators connect. And y'all be safe. Have a good holiday weekend. See you on the next one. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the SpeakHer Podcast. Be sure to follow Camille on Instagram at camille.essick, Facebook at the SpeakHer Podcast, or www